Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm glad you found me, if you found me over here. YouTube shut us down. YouTube shut us down. I had to appeal, so we wait for that. But we have this press conference less than 10 minutes away. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, Ember, Arrow, Sharon, Lucy, Bruno. Welcome in, guys. It's been one hell of a day.
The pavement, continue approximately 2.5 miles to Mulholland. Come up for Division Alpha on TAC 26.
So I was playing the scanner. So what happened was I was playing the scanner and I had the news going. Welcome in, everybody. And they shut it down. So I can't go live on Jays for Justice for a week. I appealed it, so I have to wait and see what YouTube says. I can't even post on my community over there. I don't know. They said third-party content, but I had the scanner going. Hey, Lucid, welcome back. All I can ask is that you guys share this because I can't even post on my community. Yes, it happened. But now I have this flight radar that won't time out. I paid for the, hey, Cramit. Hey, Jubes. I paid for flight radar, so now I don't have to refresh it every 30 minutes. So we can play scanner and flight radar and stuff, like, if I take a break. No, it's because I took a break. Yeah, it's because I took a break. So if you guys were in there and it was cutting out. So what happens is, like, if YouTube has bots, and their bots will, like, pick up, oh, you're playing something. And they give you that warning, right? And if you're not at the computer to, like, fix it, then they shut it down. Oh, there's a manhunt in Lakeland? So that's why. That's exactly why. So it's when I'm away, Oh, listen to this. Listen to the scanner. Oh, shit.
Alpha Charlie, all the fixed winger in your slop over in Division Zulu, Branch 10.
Yeah, we were over there looking down on the drops being done by tanker. Great work over there in the Alpha side over Mandeville Canyon. I appreciate the swapping of resources. Just try to do the same thing on this side with the slop over.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but
over, it looks like it's going into the black, but if you get a wind shift, it could bite us. But right now, I'd call it maybe 30 acres. I hate putting numbers on it, but that's going to be my priority number one with all fixed wing tankers now, just try to box that in direct.
Yeah, I appreciate that. If we could put it down as thick as possible, because looking at the topography as this thing is moving, we're going to have to go direct on this piece will be the best option because the structure is going, if you move to the southwest of this. So just hit it up, give me time, and maybe we could flood it some ground resources.
Understood. Just as long as you're in the loop. Appreciate you being on frequency, and I got about 45 more minutes on station, then I'm going to transition. I'll let you know.
Copy, thank you.
okay. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you found me, Northern. Thank you for coming back. We're going to go live right to the press conference. I'm just getting set up here to see what's what. As I've been watching, I'm like, I can't just let it go. Like, I'm invested now, but there's no one really live except for Fox replaying yesterday's shit. Hold on. Let's go back here. So this is going to start in about 4 minutes. We got flight radar. It's crazy. There is just so much activity. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 helicopters. And then there's several tracking and lead planes up in the air. So there's a lot of activity as well. The times, that's like replay though. That's like not a real station. It's like the India station or something. I know. But I don't know who is super strict about sharing their feeds. They just have bots built in. And then it'll like shut off, right? And it'll say, we've detected third-party content or whatever. And then they give you a chance to shut it off. But if you're not at the computer, you don't shut it off. So
Victor Trainee, operations on command V1.
I just hope that the people can find me. Hey, Ghetto, I see you.
Palisades Communications, LAV-11 able.
Palisades Communications, go ahead.
Palisades Communications, LAV-1 reported spot fire near 326 Toyopa Drive. 326 Toyopa Drive.
I wish I could share this out to everybody over on the other channel, but I can't.
Palisades Communications copies 326 Toyopa Drive.
Toyopa Drive, spot fire. Listen, I wish that I hope they appeal it. I can't, Angie. That's what I just said. I can't make a community post. I can't do anything. I can't go live. I can't upload a video for a whole week.
Palisades Communications, Branch 5, I copy.
YouTube makes me feel like a little kid sometimes. This is the 5th day. This is day number 5.
Branch 5, Palisades Communications.
Ooh, that sounds good, Lucia.
Branch 5, go ahead.
I hope so, Ghetto Superstar.
Branch 5, confirm you're responding to the address of 326 Toyopa Drive. Affirmative.
I do have Rumble, yeah.
Thank you.
Palisades Air Tech V11 able.
LA, go stop. Palisades Communication.
Palisades Air Tech, you'll have MAF 4 and MAF 6 from Magoo ETE to follow.
Confirm map 4 and map 6.
Affirm.
Copy, thanks.
Waiting for this to start. Can I make a post on this page? No, I don't think that'll work. Here we are. They're right on time. Get our packets together. We are live, guys.
Good afternoon. I had another walkthrough of the streets in Altadena to see the terrible impact and the destruction with my own eyes. I'm doing daily visits to see, hear, and take in the devastation, and it truly is difficult even to describe. We need all level of support, both at the local county level, the state level, and the federal level, and we need it immediately. I cannot stress enough how important that is and will continue to be in the future. Today, I wrote a letter to President-elect Trump inviting him to engage in wildfire recovery efforts and to visit the county to see the impact firsthand that it has on every socioeconomic individual in this county. Engaging the White House makes the way for the rapid deployment of federal resources, including emergency personnel and financial assistance. While I was on my walkthrough today, I crossed paths with California Assembly Speaker Rivas, and actually the entire, I think, Assembly family was up in Altadena. I told the Speaker that the state has to be incredibly flexible and streamline all of their processes, and he has promised to work with us. My goal is to help communities rebuild like for like, if not better. But there are state and county requirements that can sometimes add an additional cost to the building process. My ask is that the state and the county work to ensure that we rebuild safely, but we must remove any new costly requirements not related to health and safety that would otherwise make it cost prohibitive for residents to rebuild. Government mandates cannot mean the difference between whether a community can afford to rebuild or not. We need to be extremely responsive to the individual needs of thousands of residents who are going to have to navigate this incredibly difficult process. Our community's resilience has always been inspirational and will be our guiding light as we move forward together. I understand that many of our residents are looking and thinking rebuilding is not just a priority, it is an urgent need. I've talked to people who know their home is gone and they want to begin today. I will make sure that the county works quickly to eliminate unnecessary red tape, ensuring permits are approved safely and swiftly so that reconstruction can begin as soon as possible. Again, my priority is to ensure that government becomes a facilitator, not an obstacle, as we move toward recovery. I will also prioritize creating one-stop service centers where all relevant departments are available in one place in real time to answer your questions, provide guidance, and support your rebuilding efforts. This will be designed with one goal: to make the recovery process as seamless and supportive as possible, and to make sure those resources are right there in the community where you are rebuilding. We're here to help, and we will continue to be here during every part of the process. With that, I'd like to bring up Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Barger. So good afternoon. The Eaton Fire is now estimated to be 14,117 acres with 15% containment. Over 7,000 structures are damaged or destroyed, and 2,832 firefighting personnel are assigned to the Eaton Fire. Elevated critical fire weather conditions are predicted to begin this evening and continue through Wednesday. Moderate to locally strong Santa Ana winds will affect Los Angeles County today and tomorrow, and again Monday through Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Fire Department will be prepared. These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County high. Please understand that the inevitable public safety power shutoffs that will be implemented prior to this life-threatening Santa Ana wind event are crucial to preventing new fire starts and that they help save lives. Yes, they're a challenge to deal with, but it's certainly better than having another fire start. I would like to express my gratitude to the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors for their leadership and unwavering support of our residents, my fire department personnel, and me as fire chief.
Hi, Sherry. Welcome
To our
in,
first
everybody.
responders battling these wildfires in the air and on the ground, we commend you for your relentless and fearless dedication in protecting residents throughout this great county. And finally, to our Los Angeles County residents, please be assured that we will continue to battle these wildfires until they are fully contained. We stand alongside all of you as we begin to plan for repopulation of evacuated areas, disaster recovery, and the rebuilding of your homes and your lives. I would now like to introduce California Interagency Incident Management Team 5, Operations Section Chief, Don Fraguglia.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, so quick operational update here for the Eaton fire. Over here, as we start on the right flank in Santa Anita Canyon, things are looking really good across the front country here until we get to about here, and then we're starting to still see quite a bit of heat, quite a bit of work through here in this area. As we come across over here into the Altadena area, I want to just highlight this square box right here is a square mile. So it's a massive, massive area that we're talking about here. That's residential community. It's not wildland. It's a residence, and these are people's houses. So huge Herculean task to get through all this down here. We have a ton of work. It's many days, many weeks of work. Just wanted to highlight that a little bit. As we come through by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, this is looking good. Again, crews engaged, boots on the ground, mopping up. All through the National Forest up here, we continue to make really good progress up there. The weather's in our favor. We're using air tankers, we're using helicopters, all the tools in our toolbox to go get and put this fire out right where you see it right here. So that'll be our goals in the coming days. So thank you very much.
Now we're going to have Los Angeles County Sheriff Commander Tanya E. Plunkett.
Good afternoon. I'd like to take this time to update you on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's effort in dealing with the Eaton Canyon fire. Currently, in response to the fire, our staffing has increased to approximately 500 personnel. Within the personnel, we have active missions, which include controlling traffic points, of approximately 46 hard closures, and traffic control. We also have roving security to deal with looting and address those issues. And when necessary, respond to welfare requests and at the direction of the Los Angeles County Fire Department. As you may, as you may be aware that last night we instituted a curfew order which went into effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and currently, within the evacuation zones. It's important to know that these zones are going to be strictly enforced, and the reasons behind them is to enhance public security and address enhance public safety and address public security concerns. Within the curfew, we're asking everyone to stay clear of the affected zones unless they are authorized personnel or emergency responders. Anyone found in violation of the curfew order will be subject to a misdemeanor crime and subject to $1,000 fine. We understand that this is an extremely stressful and challenging time, but we appreciate the public's cooperation as we work together during the crisis. Since the Eaton Canyon fire commenced, we have a total of, 19 arrests, and of those 19 arrests, 4 were for curfew violations last night. We also had a search and rescue task force that commenced this morning, and that will be until the completion. It will begin daily at 6 a.m. and in at 6 p.m. That search and rescue team, we are working jointly with our partners from Los Angeles County Fire Urban Rescue, the Coroner's Office, FEMA, OES, and the use of cadaver dogs to search for remains and reunite families, most importantly. These searches will be a part of a grid search, like I mentioned, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. due to safety concerns and our inability to operate during nighttime hours. Unfortunately, we report that we have 8 deaths within the Eaton Canyon fire area that was affected by the fire. 8
deaths so far in Eaton.
In an effort to deal with the death and the tragedies as a result of this fire, we do have, working with our partners, family assistance centers that are open to provide information to people looking for missing family members, and that location is the Pasadena Civic Center.
Welcome in, everybody.
It will be comprised of OEM, sheriff's deputies, LAPD, Red Cross, the medical examiner, and the Department of Mental Health. On scene, it's important to remember that if you have missing family members, we have 2 personnel on scene to take those missing persons report for the family members and or friends. In closing, I'd like to mention that we all know so many people have been impacted by the disaster and need help. If you are in a position to help and support the counties, we would appreciate that, and please contact Emergency Network Los Angeles by visiting www.nlaenla.org. At this time, I'd like to introduce Los Angeles County Public Health Dr. Amish Mahajan.
Good afternoon. My name is Anish Mahajan, Chief Deputy Director of LA County Public Health. I'd like to start by thanking the first responders for their heroic efforts and
Speak up, dude.
Our thoughts and prayers to all who have experienced such profound loss with these fires. We in public health are committed to supporting those in need in the months ahead. I'd also like to thank the county supervisors, especially Supervisor Barger, for their extraordinary and thoughtful support of public health and all our county and city partner departments. Yesterday, a local health emergency for LA County was declared by both Secretary Becerra at the federal level and by the county health officer, recognizing the substantial risks to public health due to the impacts of the critical fire events and windstorm conditions. The South Coast Air Quality Management has issued a smoke advisory through Saturday, January 11th at 5 p.m. This advisory will surely be extended. We are all experiencing this wildfire smoke, which is a mix of small particles, gases, and water vapors. It's those small particles that get into our noses and throats and cause those sore throats and headaches. But we must also be very careful for those who are at higher risk for bad health effects from wildfire smoke. And those include children, the elderly, those with respiratory and heart conditions, and people with immunocompromised states. They may have worse symptoms like shortness of breath, wheezing, cough, and chest pain. Everyone in the areas where there's visible smoke or the smell of smoke, and even where you don't see that, we know that the air quality is poor, so you should limit outdoor exposure as much as possible. Do not engage in outdoor physical activity. If you must be outside, wear an N95 or a P100 mask. These are high filtration masks that take out those small particles that get into your body. Keeping indoor air as clean as possible is also important. Keep your windows shut. If you have an air conditioning that can pull air from the outside, that can recirculate air, you can use that. If you have a HEPA air filter or HEPA air purifier, that will help too. All of us are at risk with the poor air quality right now, but some of us in LA County are at even greater risk. For example, if it's part of your job to work outside, it's important that you wear an N95 or P100 mask. In these situations, you may ask your employer for an N95 and they're required to provide it to you free of charge. The LA County Department of Public Health is offering N95 masks through the interim housing sites, shelters, and street teams to LA residents who are experiencing homelessness and living outdoors, and to those persons who are evacuated from where they usually live and staying in temporary shelters. Family assistance centers will also offer respiratory masks to residents who are returning to fire zone areas as they clean up the fire damage. County of Los Angeles and our partners are also working to distribute over 5,000 HEPA air purifiers to senior centers, nursing homes, and other facilities where individuals are at the highest risk of residing in the worst air quality. Finally, if you experience severe symptoms like coughing, shortness of breath, wheezing, chest pain, palpitations, nausea, please contact your doctor or medical provider or go to an urgent care. For life-threatening symptoms, please call 911. I want to finish by noting that we understand this is a very difficult time for those who are evacuated, and we have a lot of folks who want to get back to their homes and to their neighborhoods. We want to ask folks not to return home until you're told that it's safe to do so. There is a lot of toxins left over after the fire. There's a lot of smoke there.
This is so
and once you are going back,
condescending.
The key is to remain covered up. Make sure you're wearing gloves. Household dishwashing gloves are okay. Long sleeves, long pants, and you should be using an N95 mask. The LA County Department of Public Health is also offering N95 masks to LA residents who are returning to the fire zone areas as the cleanup of the fire damage begins. Those masks are also available at the county evacuation centers and other sites. I'm going to finish there and happy to answer questions. Next, I'll invite City of Pasadena Mayor Victor Bordo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just returned from visiting the devastated areas of Pasadena and Altadena, and devastation really is the only word. I visited with the Southern California's congressional delegation, and I'd like to thank them for taking the time to see firsthand exactly what's happening in our community. While it's devastation up there, I know that our community, our people in Altadena and Pasadena, and we really are one community, is a resilient and strong community. And I'm here to tell all of you that the County of Los Angeles, Supervisor Barger, the State of California, and our congressional delegation is committed to supporting as we bounce back, and we will bounce back in Pasadena and Altadena. The resilience that we've shown in past disasters is proof of that. I'd also like to thank the first responders for all of their hard work and courage in assisting our residents. And finally, I'd like to say this: if you are thinking of coming to Pasadena and or Altadena for the purpose of looting, know this: the Pasadena Police Department and the LA County Sheriffs will be there to meet you. If you're even thinking about it, think twice, because the Pasadena Pasadena Police Department and the Pasadena and then the LA County Sheriffs will not only be there to greet you, but you will be arrested. And so I would discourage anyone from even thinking about coming and victimizing our residents. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to introduce the CEO of Southern California Edison, Stephen D. Powell.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Powell, President and CEO of Southern California Edison. As a longtime, entire life resident of Southern California, words can't describe how horrific it is to see the impact on our communities, friends, my colleagues at Edison, even through these fires. Just been terrible to see. As we look forward, I first want to say thank you to the first responders, the fire agencies that are out there protecting the community and partnering with us on keeping people safe. I want to say thank you to our crews, our contractors, as well as those that provide mutual assistance from PG&E that are out there working 24/7 to bring power back on in our communities. As of this morning, Edison still had about 50,000 customers without power. That's down from a peak of over 500,000 just a couple of days ago, so we're making significant progress on the power restoration. We've got over 120 crews supported by other field personnel. That's thousands of people out working 24/7 to bring power back on once it's safe to do so. At the same time, there's a lot of places where we don't have access, where there's a lot of damage that could lead to really extended outages. As Chief Maroney mentioned, we're also not through all the weather issues. We see a big wind event coming in next week, and that could lead to more public safety power shutoffs. Again, as an electric utility, we never want to shut people's power off. But to protect our communities when the conditions are merit it, we need to use it as a tool of last resort, and we will be doing that. So just want to let everybody know that's been out there without power for 5 days now. We've got our crews working 24/7 to bring power back on as it's safe to do so. Thank you. Next up is State Senator Sasha Renee Perez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to start off by first acknowledging that we have members of our Altadena Town Council here with us today, and I really just want to give them a big shout out. You know, so many members of their town council who are the elected body of Altadena have not only lost their homes, but they are also out there volunteering, making sure that people are getting resources, and that is so critical and so important. And so I just want to recognize the work that they're doing after they have lost so much. This is such a difficult time, and I am so grateful that you all have taken the time to be here and to join us. First, you know, I want to share with you all, I was with the Attorney General this morning. He wants to make it very clear to everyone that price gouging is illegal. We have received reports that there is price gouging happening, whether that is around hotels, whether that is around apartment housing, whether that's around water. That is not okay. If you see price gouging happening online, please report it immediately. Us making sure that we are holding people accountable depends on all of you reporting. The website to do that is oag.ca.gov/report. I want to make this clear again. Price gouging is illegal. It is not okay to price gouge during a state of emergency. These are innocent people that you are taking advantage of, and I want to remind folks, please have some humanity during this difficult time. In addition to that, many have been asking about help with navigating their insurance. We have an insurance workshop that's going to be happening here in Pasadena on Saturday, January 25th, and Sunday, January 26th at Pasadena City College. Both of those events will be happening at 10 a.m. You can schedule your appointment in advance at 1-800-927-4357. Make sure to call. You can go ahead and meet with an expert there who will assist you with navigating your insurance policy. In addition to that, we've been receiving questions about medication. If you've lost your prescriptions in the fire, you need them to be replaced. City of Pasadena pharmacy team is refilling prescriptions. In addition to that, Ultimed is providing immediate medications such as inhalers, albuterol, high blood pressure medication, and general medication for emergent needs at the Pasadena Convention Center. Ultimed is also providing mental health support and wound care as well. Both of those will be at the Pasadena Convention Center. And in addition to that, FEMA staff is currently at the Pasadena Convention Center right now. They will be here in the coming days from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to help those that need help with navigating their FEMA applications. I know that I've heard from many residents that they've received denial letters even though they've lost their homes, they've lost everything. FEMA staff is in town, located at Pasadena right now. They can help you with navigating that application. Please head there if you need assistance. And also you can reach out to our office. We will connect you with somebody at FEMA. Last but not least, we know Pasadena and Altadena are still communicating to the public to avoid drinking tap water in impacted areas. Please contact your local water utility to assess if your area has been impacted. We know the City of Pasadena is hosting water bottle distribution centers at 450 North Lake Avenue. We also have Pasadena City College acting as a distribution center for donation goods. So if you need those items, please go ahead and head there. And once again, just want to thank everybody that's been donating, all of the volunteers. I just came from the Pasadena Convention Center. On top of our firefighters being on the front lines to contain this fire, we also have the California Fire Foundation giving out $250 gift cards to those that have lost their homes. And it is just so tremendous to see firefighters that have spent the last several days working nonstop, exhausted, sleeping for a few hours and getting up to go volunteer at the convention center. That's the work that these guys are doing, and it's just so incredible. I can't express enough my appreciation for everything that they're doing. And just thank you all so much. This is community coming together. This is how we're going to get through this. Next up, I'll introduce my colleague, Assembly Member John Harabadian.
Thank you, Senator Perez. Thank you, Chair Barger
Paul,
for
hit
all
that
your
like
continued
button.
leadership.
Hey, Melissa B.
My name is John Harbeedy, and I'm the Assembly Member for the areas affected by the Eaton fire. And as many of you know, this is very personal for me. I was born and raised and grew up in Sierra Madre, minutes and miles away from most of the devastation. I was playing, growing up in homes that are no longer there, grew up playing sports in parks that are no longer there. And to all of the families whose lives have been upended, my heart and prayers are with you. I can't imagine the devastation and the feelings that you are feeling right now. As I was saying to many of my friends last night when we were all together, many of whom lost their homes, a lot of them are facing unbelievable amounts of trauma to going back to their properties and just seeing a foundation. And as I told them, the foundation of this community, of all of us, is going to be there for them forever. While they need to rebuild on their own foundation, there is a foundation of all the people behind us, all the people that you live with in your neighborhoods that are going to be steady and are going to be with you every step of the way. Rest assured, statewide resources will be there. Speaker Robert Rivas was here in the district, as the supervisor said today. We toured together with the rest of the Assembly LA County delegation. Many of my members here, Assemblymember Mark Gonzalez, Assemblymember Mike Fong, were there as well. And we are committed to bringing as many resources as we need to help all those affected, to have a plan for the rebuild, and to make sure that no one is left out. All I'll say is that this is an active disaster, as many of you know. It is a perilous situation. Please have an emergency evacuation plan, and if there is an evacuation order, especially over these next few days, heed it.
Hey, at least he's not
We stand
reading.
united with one voice. We will get through this together, and we love you. We are praying for you, and we will continue to be right here for you. Thank you.
His, at least, I felt his came from the heart. He didn't have to read nothing. His
I would
packet.
like to clarify on behalf of Chief Augustine, our fire chief who's here with us, that Pasadena does not have a curfew in place. We are considering it, and our executive leadership team will make that determination. Para la comunidad de habla hispana, quiero decirles que yo sé que nuestra comunidad es resiliente, fuerte, y vamos a sobrevivir este evento. Aquí estamos con el Condado de Los Ángeles, el Estado de California, y también con la Delegación Nacional y la ciudad de Pasadena y la comunidad de Altadena para apoyarlos a todos. Si necesitan ayuda, vayan al centro de convenciones aquí en la ciudad de Pasadena, 300 Green Street. 300 Green Street es donde pueden encontrar ayuda y apoyo para usted y para sus familias. Gracias.
Good afternoon, Helen Chavez Garcia, Communications Director for Supervisor and Chair Catherine Barger. We wanted to acknowledge the elected officials that are here showing their support. Assembly Member Mark Gonzalez, if you can please raise your hands as I name you. Assembly Member Mike Fong. La Cañada Flint Ridge Mayor Michael Davitt. Pasadena Council Member Justin Jones. And as mentioned, of course, our much cherished Altadena Town Council Chair Victoria Knapp, and also Vice Nick Arzen. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is AJ Lester. I'm a Public Information Officer here on the Infire. That will conclude our speakers for today. We're going to now open up for questions. If any of the media has questions, please state your name and the agency that you represent, and we will walk around with a microphone and get a question.
Question and answers. Here we go.
Gary Johnson, KCAL. I saw hundreds of electrical repair trucks gathering at Santa Anita this morning. Can you tell us the plan of attack for all those trucks and when they will get started? And they seem to be from all over the Southwest.
So again, this is Steve Powell, Southern California Edison. So in the event that we have a significant amount of damage to repair, we will stand up a temporary laydown yard. That's a place where our crews can go to collect materials, collect the next job, and get out into the community, and it keeps us efficient in storing power as quickly as possible. So as I mentioned, we have over 123 crews that are actively working on restoration, and that is a place where they can go and make sure that we're being really efficient. So we were able to get into the communities and get crews out yesterday and they've been out doing damage assessment, beginning to clear things so that we can begin the restoration. So all those crews are active working today. I was actually there this morning.
Beth Slepaz, KABC, Telemundo 52. This is for the editor. Is there any truth that one of your lines may have caused falling for the Hearst fire? And what do you know about that?
One of your what? Lines?
So we're going to talk about the Hearst fire? Yeah. So we filed what's called an electric safety incident report, which we're required to file when there's either media or a certain amount of damage or certain criteria to get hit. There's a lot more investigation to be done on the Hearst fire to understand what caused the fire. And so right now we don't have any evidence that says that the Hearst fire was caused by our equipment, but there's a lot more investigation to be done.
Any further questions from the media? Okay, that will conclude our press conference if there's no further questions. We'll have breakout where we have utilities, SoCal Gas, Edison on the side. We'll also have Spanish speakers if anyone would like to do interviews over there along with public information officers. Thank you for coming to our press conference.
One question? Okay, I guess Eaton fire must not be as controversial. If you look here, guys, we have another town hall scheduled, look, for 7 p.m. And people are asking questions already. One question, can you believe that? Let's see what the latest tells us, huh? Let's see what's going on in Brentwood.
Change. Before you pan over, Charles, you mentioned that fire retardant. We can actually see it down the hiking trail right there. You see kind of that reddish orangish blotch. So we can see that they did drop some fire retardant down here earlier. Philip,
that was really weird.
Now what direction this is all moving, and I can tell you that firefighters were telling us
everything about this is weird.
A few hours ago was that this fire was moving up this hill, right? And that's also the worst case scenario. We know that fire dries out the vegetation above it. It makes it more friendly or tinder, right? It can go up in flames even faster. So that has been the concern all along, that they've been having this fire move up this hill. But I think what's kind of protecting these homes is just the work from these firefighters. I mean, they are out here, they are soaking the vegetation they need to soak. They are letting the vegetation they need to burn off just burn off. So it kind of eliminates some of the fuel source of this fire. So yeah, there was a lot of jitters from homeowners here. Most of them have left these communities. We have not seen homeowners here hosing down their homes, protecting their property. As far as we can all tell, and just from what we've seen from, what we've been an eyewitness to, we haven't seen many homeowners here, just firefighters. So I think most people said, hey, we're going to get out of here and let firefighters do their job and do their best.
Did I hear you say you hiked over to this location? Did you come down on that trail I see behind you?
Yeah, to give you some perspective here, those are the backyards of homes on Westridge. This is the very start of the hiking trail. So, Giovanna, if you walked, I'm going to say maybe 300 feet down there, you're going to be on Westridge. Hike may be a little bit of a stretch. We did have to park quite farther down Westridge because firefighters have hoses lined up all over the road. We don't want to drive over them. We don't want to break their fire lines as they are or those hose lines, I should say, as they are protecting these homes. So we parked pretty far down Westridge and just walked up and walked over all those fire hoses to get to this vantage point here.
Well, Kevin, when you talk about where you are, you're in Brentwood, you have Westridge Road there, and you have been specifically, very intimately watching the firefighters and their structure protection techniques.
Okay,
For
hold
the
on.
people who have evacuated and they have left, can you provide?
Look at the flight radar. Check it out. There is, a massive, massive force. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 helicopters right now that you can see on your screen. This is nuts. They're really going at it hard. They're really going at it hard. Look at that. Oh, my God.
Hours now, they've been all cool, calm, and collected. And from our vantage point, from what we see, again, this is from our vantage point, from what we've been an eyewitness to, we have not seen any homes here get damaged. We have not seen flames reach these homes on West Ridge. And to give the homeowners who may be watching us who live on the street some comfort, you know, Philip, we have seen firefighters in all the backyards here. They are going on those patios. Unfortunately, we don't see any right now, but, you know, every few minutes or so, you will see a firefighter on one of these beautiful backyard patios. Sometimes they are pumping some water out of their pools or just checking on the vegetation. We've seen some firefighters hosing down their backyards. It's just been kind of incredible to see them fight this fire with using multiple different strategies. And also, Philip and Giovanna, one other thing to add, some of the, you know, one thing that firefighters have been telling us is some of the homeowners here did a really darn good job of doing all they could to make the firefighting work a little bit easier. We know some of these homeowners strategically cut brush. Let's see, I think we may be having an aircraft come overhead soon. We're starting to hear it as we see these CAL FIRE trucks move through. And also, sorry, Philip and Giovanna, let me get out of the street to make sure this fire truck can get through because it is pretty narrow here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's make sure of that first.
I want to say about 15 minutes ago, we did see.
Make sure of that first.
Yeah, the last thing we ever want to do is be a roadblock to these first responders. I'm not quite sure what they're doing, but we did see a big contingent of Caltrans firefighters go down this hiking trail earlier. But we've seen firefighters moving around all the time, right? A hotspot flares up there. They got to go react to it. A hotspot flares up somewhere else. They got to be mobile, react to that one. But again, just to kind of talk about the different strategies here.
Oh my God. She wants to stop them?
Since they are on the move, I don't want to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see if.
Don't stop them.
I will see if. Yeah, no,
Stop
I tried.
that.
I think they got somewhere they got to go.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of stress that from what we've seen, there is not a frantic pace. It seems that they, at least in this area on West Ridge,
what an idiot.
They have had everything pretty under control and have been able to do some very good work protecting these homes.
Well, it is fascinating if you've ever had, and all of us have, if you've ever had a chance to talk to an incident commander, if you've talked to a captain in charge of an area, they are.
Oh, stop them. Stop them. Let's ask them questions. They're on their way to a fight.
Earlier today,
we've got some helicopter action. Here we go.
On Mandeville Canyon Road, where chopper after chopper after chopper did water drop. A very different scene than what you were seeing here, because as we're seeing here, it's mostly canyon, but there it's very tightly knit homes with this kind of brush pretty much up to the backyard, and they were aggressively fighting that, trying to save those homes. However, one, possibly two, but we are certain of one home did not make it. We have some video from SkyCal. Let's go to that right now. This is the first structure that was reported as being attacked by this vicious fire that is gone. Now, here's the good news. Firefighters were able to contain it to that home. It did not spread. That's what we're trying to see, and that's why we're seeing such an aggressive air assault in this area. Again, this Palisades fire is the largest of all the fires burning. 22,000 acres today. Yesterday, I stood here in front of this same exact camera and said 11,000, 13,000. So certainly it has picked up. I will tell you what I think is another. Jamie, just go ahead on those flames for a while so we can take a look at above those rooftops. I will tell you something else that I think is of major concern. Actually, I don't think it's of major concern. I know it is. This is what they're talking about, and that is the winds. Again, by way of review, when all of this kicked up on Tuesday and Thursday, the Santa Anas were gusting at hurricane force mile per hour winds at 100 miles per hour. Last night, fire officials said, we're happy to say it looks like we'll get a relief. The winds have died down.
Look at that.
Then later this afternoon, not so much. The winds have certainly picked up. Again, as I've been saying all morning, I'm not going to claim to be a meteorologist, but perhaps your weather folks can fill us in a little more on where we are. But I'm going to say the gusts have got to be 30, sometimes 35 miles per hour, at least on the top of canyons where we're standing. if I can show you one more thing. Okay, so you're looking at this, Damien, you're on those flames right now? All right. If we can swing around, again, important to talk about the threat here, because I know as I'm standing on the edge of this canyon, it looks like he's in the middle of nowhere. That certainly is not the case, because as we pan behind me, all homes behind me, going all the way down this hillside, and then, of course, on that side, Mandeville Canyon. So even though, all of this area looks barren, for lack of a better word. It isn't. And guys, as I'm talking to you, again, just to show you the fluidity of this situation, Damien, look down here. Look what happened to that fire you just looked at live about 120 seconds ago. Can you see how it's growing? And look at that wind just throwing those flames around. Now, of course, the wind spreading these flames so quickly is problem enough, but if an ember is picked up in that wind and carried in whichever direction, certainly toward a home, potentially even landing on the rooftop of a home, that's when the big problems start in terms of losing homes, loss of life, total destruction of neighborhoods. So you may have a lens flare. The sun is certainly shining and coming out right now. Again, kind of heating up things a bit, not always a good thing. But just as I turn around, I'm going to leave you with this. I'm trying to illustrate the unpredictability that our firefighters have to deal with. Remember the blaze that was happening over there? Barely nothing now. Probably because of the massive, intense air assault that's happening here. This blaze over here that was barely nothing when we started, now that is becoming its own type of raging inferno. So a serious kudos to the people who are calling the shots in the command center, because moment by moment they have to say, now think about this, moment by moment they have to say, we have wires and homes over here with raging flames. Let's get an aircraft there. Wait a minute. Now we have to get one over there. I want to show you one other thing. I'm sorry. I keep saying that, I know. Damien, if you can get this plane up in the sky. Again, talking about the massive air assaults going on and the type of aircraft we're seeing. Now, as you can see, that is a jetliner that is most likely carrying fire retardant. So in addition to these water drops to put out the flames, these types of airliners, and when you see them, it's an incredible
You can see them right on the screen here,
pinkish
too.
orange just drop for
right here.
I don't know, I'm going to say miles at a time to try to stop the fire from spreading. So that's what that type of aircraft is doing. But certainly, as we go back in the studio, I want to tell you that actually, Damien, if you could just go over here. Now all of a sudden, again, you're seeing what type of situation we're facing here with these trucks going up the fire road. Now all of a sudden we're seeing, I saw a little bit this earlier, but not now. Now all of a sudden we're seeing all of these fire vehicles, looks like a fire inspector and some fire trucks heading up this canyon fire road to that area of the flames we looked at when we first started this live shot that now are picking up. So, if there's anything that I have seen with this unprecedented fire, remember, Los Angeles officials now officially saying the worst national disaster in our history. If there's anything I've seen as a reporter on the front line is the unpredictability of what happens next. That's what happened last night, right? Now all of a sudden we're talking about the 405 freeway. We're talking about UCLA standing by to evacuate. We're talking about the VA Medical Center evacuating. We're talking about the Getty Center and fire mitigation they're doing there just to try to save themselves. Here's a wind again. Can you see it? Look at the wind is picked. There's
we can hear it.
Solid
can
wind
you see it?
Gust again to show you the unpredictability of this fire that may die down for a few days, but as you well know, Santa Ana is expected to pick up again perhaps in the next few days. So it looks like we have a long road ahead. Only 11% contained the Palisades fire right now. 22,000 acres burned at this moment, but if anything in the last 5 minutes, I hope I've been able to communicate how by the moment things are changing here. Back to you in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, you've really given us a dynamic look, Barry. Thank you for that, as we just see these winds change the fire direction and all those types of things. That's why we have Kirsten Mitchell near the intersection of Ventura and Greenleaf and Encino, because people in that community so concerned that there could be a change in the fire.
Okay, so that was Brentwood, I believe. Let's see if there's anything else live. You can see in this Alert California camera on the bottom, it is updating in real time. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty dang crazy. Hold on, guys. We have a town hall in about an hour with the same Eaton Fire people as well. Okay, let's go back here.
I'm fine. Definitely a little bit nerve-wracking, kind of just being on high alert at all times. You know, we've been kind of comfortable in this area the last few days because the fire would have to go so far to get here. But now that we're actually in a yellow warning zone, it's definitely a little scary.
How did you
How do you
prepare for
feel?
this? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've been watching my parents' neighborhood more because they're up Van Alden, which is just over the hill from the Palisades. So I went over there, helped them kind of pack up important documents and stuff, and then ran over here. We were all at Shabbat dinner at my uncle's house last night, just up the hill in Encino. We all got the evacuation alert all at the same time, kind of just fanned out immediately. And then after my parents, I came here, packed up the valuables. Yeah.
Are you planning to have to evacuate, and are your family members having to evacuate, or are you still on standby right now?
We're definitely still on standby. Unfortunately, we're...
Okay. So over here, Alert California, watch this. This is the last 15 minutes of this fire. Watch. That's just a 15-minute thing. Let me make it bigger. Hang on. Let's switch our windows around. This is a great time for you guys who have not hit the like button to step out of chat and hit it. Okay, check this out. I'm so paranoid about getting in trouble with YouTube now. All right, so we'll put that down there. Watch this 15-minute. That's crazy. Now watch this. We can change it to 1 hour. That's the last hour. Now watch this. Let's watch the last 12 hours. Okay, that's trippy. Maybe that's too long. The fuck? Let's do 3 hours. Thank you, Sharon, for your super chat. And thank you, Canada, for your super scoopers. Thank you so much, Sharon. Yeah, this is the last 3 hours. Sue, I don't know. So YouTube cut me off. I can't go live for a week. Hey, Dixie. Good to see you. So we migrated over here because it picked up third-party content and I didn't shut it off in time. So I had to appeal it. If the appeal goes through, then I can go live again over there. If not, then I have to wait a week. I can't even post on my community. All for reporting on a national disaster.
Don't make me a dog-faced lion pony soldier.
So this will be updating in real time. Let's see here. The flight radar map, nuts. You're Canadian too? We are loving our Canadians. See what the scanner is saying. There's about 5,000 people listening to it. I think I do, Janet. I just don't really use it. And I don't have a third channel, no. This is it. It'll be okay. It's just the things that YouTube
All
does.
units on the Palisade incidents, check your direct radios for an open mic. All units on the Palisade incidents, check your V1 direct radios for an open mic.
I know, it really sucks, Charlie. We have a town hall in about an hour, guys. So what you're looking at on the bottom screen is a live look at the Palisades fire.
All units on the Palisade incidents, check your radios for an open mic. All units on the Palisade incident, check your radios for an open mic.
Someone's got an open mic.
Division Alpha communications with that long one ready. Communications Division Alpha, go ahead with the lat long.
You can hear the open mic. Oh, that's nuts. Look at all the aircraft. Oh, it just went off. Thank you, Charlie.
Division Alpha from Field Communications, latitude 34.08641, negative 118.54908, 34.08641,
Hi, Cujo.
negative 118.54908. Alpha copies.
Palisades Air Attack LAV-11 able.
Thank you, Lisa. Jay, you're doing a great job. Surely getting important information out is very important. Thank you, Lisa. I feel like it is. We'll do it the safe way. I'm going to leave this going. The scanner.
Palisades Air Attack on V1.
Palisades Air Attack V1, be advised. Tanker 75 out of service mechanical en route to McLaren.
Uh-oh.
Tanker 90 to be your replacement.
Uh-oh. They had a tanker breakdown. I'm going to leave this. Hey, Cole. Oh, YouTube shut it down, Cole. That's all.
Communications branch 10 on command.
So we're going to listen to the scanner for a while. I am going to be back
Branch 10 communications.
to stream the town
Yeah,
hall
earlier
meeting.
this morning, Division Zulu came to you for a hose delivery out to Zulu. I need to find that ETA and expedite it.
Communications copies, stand by.
Palisades Communications LA V1 1 able.
LA Communications.
Palisades Communications reported fire crossing the ridge, 1432 Penny Road. 1432 Penny Road.
The town hall meeting begins at 7. Hey, Angie, go get some food, girl. Hey, Tim Sparks.
LA Communications copies. Fire crossing the ridge, 1432. Can you spell the road name?
So I'll be back right before that starts so we can watch the town hall together. Please share this out to your family and friends if you live there, Janet and everybody. Seaboing, San Diego, wherever. Share this out to your friends. Thank you, Questionable Opinions. I appreciate your support. That's so nice of you. I'm definitely invested in seeing these get contained. Hey, Brendan, it's good to see you. All right, guys, I'll be back in roughly about 30 minutes, if not sooner. I just have to take care of some things, and we're going to get more info from the scanner
Foxtrot Communications.
than we are from anything else. So let's listen in on that scanner. Welcome back, Lucia. Short and sassy, we are friends. Canadian friends.
Go ahead for Foxtrot.
All right, my Canucks and my fellow Americans and beyond.
Report of railroad ties on fire.
Oh, fuck.
1030 North Rivas Canyon Road. 1030 North Rivas.
Railroad ties on fire. See, we're going to get more up-to-date information listening to this than
Foxtrot,
anything
copy.
else.
1030 North Rivas Canyon Road. Railroad ties on fire.
My friends down under and beyond. All right, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in just a little while. Your chat's the best anyways. Hey, Cannon. That dude. If I missed anybody, welcome back. It's good to have you.
Palisades Communications, Division Charlie trainee, on command.
Last unit, can you repeat your identifier and go ahead?
Palisades Communications, Division Charlie trainee, on command. I'd like to request an agency PIO to the address 2634 Cordelia at the end of West Ridge Road on Division Charlie for heavy media presence.
Division Charlie trainee, communications copies. Is media impeding any operations?
Communications Branch 1 at the resource request.
Branch 1, communications.
Requesting ground support to inspect a vehicle involved in a minor collision. Safety has been notified. Address location 12780 Chalon, LON Road, cross of Mandeville. Contact will be the Mandeville Structure Group on CDF TAC 29.
Branch 1, communications copies, request for ground support.
Communications, Charlie Trainee on command.
Charlie Trainee, communications.
Yeah, you were scratchy on the last. I just wanted to confirm that you got my request for agency PIO.
Affirmative. We received your request. Can you advise whether or not the media presence is impeding operations?
Yeah, from negative, they are not impeding operations presently, but they are in potentially a bad situation.
Communications copies.
Palisades Air Attack LA V1. Palisades Air Attack LA on V1. Palisades Air Attack LA V1. Palisades Air Attack LA V1.
Traffic for Palisades Air Attack, go ahead.
Palisades Air Attack LA V1, be advised, tanker 104 out of service mechanical at 1500. Would you like a replacement?
Affirmative.
Palisades Air Attack.
Operations Task Force 3226 on command.
Go for operations.
Task Force 3226 assigned to your incident from the Eaton 101 and Cannon Road. Standing by for an assignment.
Who is this? 32, Task Force 3226, standby.
Affirmative. Information only 4 Type 3s, 1 Type 2 for makeup.
Yeah, just confirming you're just getting here Did you speak to anybody in base camp coming over, Deputy Ops or anybody?
Negative. The Eaton didn't have a reporting location for us. They told us to make contact when in the area.
Yeah, copy, standby. Division Zulu, operations on V1. Division Zulu. Hey Zulu, I got a task force here, 3 Type 3s and a Type 2 engine. We're just going to give it to you so you can go hard at this piece here. Where would you like them to go?
I'm going to have them come up on 40 and for Zulu trainee, and he can get them worked into where I need them.
Copy. They're just coming in from the Eaton. Where would a reporting location be when they can hit them up?
Oh, so they're coming from the Eaton?
Correct. I believe they're in the area now, though.
Where are they at right now?
How about I just have you go direct with them? It is Task Force 3226.
I copy. Break. Task Force 3226. Division Zulu on V1.
Division Zulu, Task Force 3226. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's your location?
We're on Cannon, just got off the 101.
Okay, you need to work your way up Topanga to Estrada. And when you get up there, be on TAC 40 and get a hold of Zulu trainee. He'll walk in where I need you.
Copy. Work up Topanga. I missed the cross. Can you do that to me one more time?
Intranada.
Copy. Topanga to Intranada. Come up on TAC 40 for Zulu training.
Affirmative.
Street is Intranada.
Branch 10, Palisades Communications. Palisades Communications.
Branch 10.
Updating you on your request, left supply about 2 hours ago, should be arriving at any moment.
Yeah, Branch 10 copies.
Division Charlie, Division Alpha Trainee, command. Division Charlie, Division Alpha Trainee, command.
Go ahead, Alpha Trainee.
Yeah, do you have a PIO available in your division?
Let me go check. I know Charlie Trainee had an assignment for him, but there was a couple hanging around. Let me see if I can wrangle one up.
I copy. I got an address for you. It's in Mataville Canyon, 3944.
Mataville.
Affirmative.
Charlie copies.
Branch 1, Palisades Communications. Branch 1, Palisades Communications.
Branch 1.
Can you advise a cell number?
530-448-2418.
Communications copies.
Palisades Communications, 7 Golf Hotel on command.
Palisades Communications.
Helicopter 7 Alpha Hotel has assumed.
Wires down across one-way road.
Rio.
Helicopter 7 Alpha Hotel, you were broken, unreadable. Can you repeat?
7 Alpha Hotel has assumed Palisades Helco. Copter 7 Golf Hotel returning to Camarillo.
Copies. 7 Golf returning 7 Alpha, assuming.
Alpha Trainee, Division Charlie on command. Alpha Trainee. Hey, for accountability, let me clean some stuff up, some water tenders. On Westridge right now, I have water tender E431, E429, E420, and E425 that were on your IAP for this morning. I want to make sure if you need them, I can get them heading your way. If not, I can find work for them. Good on that at the moment. Can you repeat the first one? E431. Thank you. Yeah, we're good. You can keep them for now. Copy. Thank you.
Division Mike, Palisades Communications.
Palisades Communications, Mike.
Division Mike, Palisades Communications. Reports of flames and smoldering brush at 17352 Sunset Boulevard. 17352 Sunset Boulevard.
Division Mike.
Division Alpha, Strike Team 9115 Golf. Command. Yeah, it's affirmative. 9115 Golf. We've been assigned to your division. Where would you like us? At 9115 Golf. Alpha 20. Where are you at now? We're at driving up Mandeville Canyon Road right now. At 9115 Golf Alpha. 9115 Golf. from today. It's at drop point 15. Repeat the drop point. Drop point 15. I copy. Drop point 15. Branch 1, Division Alpha.
Branch 1.
You can... We need no more equipment out here on Division Alpha. If you can make that known. We're good with what we have.
Yeah, understood. And we still may receive more, but I'll try and push it to a different place.
Branch 1 Alpha, you're locked on.
Branch 1 copies.
Engine 13, bring your hand tools up as well. Branch 10, air operations on command.
Branch 1, Palisades Communications.
Communications, Branch 1.
Are you able to make a call into the communications center?
Confirming it's the number ending in 0932.
That's correct.
Placing a call.
Branch 10, air operations on command. Unit calling, operations identifying, go ahead.
go do the first inspection.
Hey guys, welcome back. Just letting you know I'm still here. I'm just getting some things done. I'll be back shortly. This town hall starts at 7 o'clock, so I'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll go get some updates, and then we'll go live with that.
Palisades Communication Division, Papa. Communications Division, Papa.
Palisades Communications, LAV1.
LA Palisades Communications.
You have Division Papa hailing you.
Confirming you're requesting me to hail Division Papa.
They've been hailing you. Would you like a later relay?
LA, go ahead.
Division Papa, LAV1 for a relay.
Yeah, we have an engine requesting assistance with media causing a traffic hazard on the Pacific Coast Highway, cross of LA County, Fire Station 70.
Palisades Communication Division Papa has an engine requesting PIO with media relations. Location Pacific Coast Highway next to LA County Fire Station 70.
LA Communications copies.
LA copies, relay complete.
Palisades Air Attack, Air Operations Command.
Alpha, Palisades Communications.
Air attack, air operations on command. Elko, air operations on command.
Palisades Communications, field communications with a radio check.
Field Communications, Palisades Communications, you're loud and clear.
Copy.
Operations Elko, go for Elko on command.
Elko, air operations. I have an unauthorized UAS detected operating Solomon Reservoir. I have a ground contact team en route.
I copy Sullivan Reservoir. What division? Is it close to a division or is that just the reservoir?
It's Sullivan Dip.
Copy Sullivan Dip, thanks.
Division Alpha, Palisades Communications.
Division Alpha, field communications on command.
Communications, Division Alpha, go ahead.
Alpha, you have Palisades comms trying to hail you. Are you able to hear them?
I just heard when you tried to reach me. Palisades Communications, Division Alpha, go ahead.
Division Alpha, reports of active fire behind the address of 3131 Mandeville Canyon Road.
Division Alpha.
Good. Division Alpha, Branch 1, all reevade of Mandeville Structure Group.
Division Alpha. Yeah, Branch 1, Division Alpha, I copy that. Right here at 3131 Mandeville Road. Division Alpha, Washington Task Force 1, on command.
Washington Task Force 1, Division Alpha, go ahead.
Division Yankee, Palisades Communications.
Communications, Mandeville Structure Group.
Hey, Amy, welcome in. I'm here. We're going to stream this town hall meeting at 7 o'clock. So I'm in and out doing stuff, but thanks for joining. I'm glad you guys found the stream. Hopefully it'll pick up. YouTube shut us down over there, so they're shutting us down. But I feel like this is important coverage, so I'm here. I'm here.
Mandeville,
Who's not showing I'm live? What do you mean?
Division Alpha, Mandeville Structure Group, on command.
Division Alpha.
That address, 3131 Mandeville, multiple resources at that address. No additional response needed.
Division Alpha copies, break branch 1, you copy the traffic.
Branch 1, copy, thank you.
Because we're on the second channel, Amy.
Alpha Structure Group back. Can we meet up?
I was going to try to venture down to you. I think for you to come up here and me to go down there, it'd be an hour plus. So.
Hey, firm, whenever you're this way. No rush.
I copy.
Division Yankee, Palisades Communications.
Traffic for Yankee.
Yankee Communications. Reports of a fire behind 1551 Penny Road. 1551 Penny Road.
Yeah, Yankee copies. We have resources in the area and at that address.
Communications copies.
Communications Division Yankee with a hose order request.
Yankee, Palisades Communications.
Palisades Communications, Yankee. Have a hose order request. A hose module order, 20,000 inch and a half, 10,000 1 inch, with a complement of nozzles and Ys, delivered to LA County Fire Station 69.
Division Yankee, Communications copies. Can you advise a point of contact and a phone number?
Point of contact, Division Yankee trainee, 661-917-1429.
To clarify, 2 homes in Brentwood were destroyed that we know of.
Division Yankee trainee confirming 661-917-1439.
1429.
1429.
Branch 10. Command 1.
Unit calling Branch 10.
Branch 10 operations. We got a message from Air Ops. We need to make sure that there are no water tenders that are in the area of Hell Spot 3, H3. They're impeding with the operations, air operations.
I copy break. Yankee, Branch 10.
Branch 10, Yankee, go ahead.
Hey, get over to H3 and get that area clear of water tenders for those copters.
Division Yankee, copy.
Yankee, Branch 10 on command. Just be advised, I have another branch trainee coming out here. I'm going to get him up to speed on the priorities in Yankee and have him help you out over here so I can work with Zulu tonight.
Yeah, Yankee copies, and I'll clear that H3 and be back over here. Are you on your way over here or no longer?
Yeah, eventually I'll tie in with you. I'm going to go down into Topanga Canyon Road to tie in with this branch coming in and get them up to speed on what the plan is.
Yankee copies.
$9260 Charlie engine 2252 on command.
That guy is standing at Reseda and Mulholland.
Operations, Branch 10 on command.
Go ahead.
Hey, you still in my neck of the woods or you take off?
We are coming up Entrada.
Copy, I might run into you.
Copy.
Branch 7 trainee, Branch 7, come in.
Branch 7 trainee, command.
Your Rex, if you're still over near Topanga Canyon, it'd probably be helpful if you face-to-face with that Branch 10 over there as he's in briefing his new branch trainee, just so we got a clear picture of what they're doing tonight.
Copy, I head over that way now. I heard him over by Entrada.
Perfect, yeah, if you face-to-face, and then I'm over here in Division Union. We'll tie in face-to-face in a few hours.
Branch 7 trainee, copy. Thanks.
Yeah, Branch 5, operations on command, V1. Branch 5, operations on V1, command.
Go for Branch 5.
Hey, Branch 5, can you give me a quick update on your branch?
Continued mop-up of structures and nuisance smokes. No progression. All good.
Perfect, thank you. Break, Branch 7, operations, command, V1.
Operations, was that for Branch 1?
Branch 7, operations on command, V1. Go ahead. Just looking at a little status update, please.
Affirmative reduction in service calls in Division Papa, Division Tango, same thing, getting slow in Tango. Division Uniform, we're getting direct handline put in where we had some indirect break. Put in the request to utilize some retardant with a helicopter out of the MRB in Division Union on the backside of Saddle Peak to hold that in check. We've got connected the dots across the top over to Division Victor with all direct line break. Division Victor, they're improving the hand line, and that is complete down to Topanga Canyon Road from the top, and again, that's getting improved. I'm just a little concerned looking over and seeing what's going on in Branch 10 for this.
Copy all. I just get a yeet at what's going over there. They're going to have to go after this piece direct. They're building a plan now as they move into the evening. Cover that.
So Branch 1, Mandeville Structure Group on command.
Mandeville Structure Group, go ahead for Branch 1.
You any place close I can face-to-face with you?
Juliet from Will Rogers Logistics on 1.
Mandeville Structure Group, Branch 1. Geographically, yes, but drive time, no, probably 1 hour from you. On the ridge top, just east of you, on Canyon Back.
Next firm. Break. Division Alpha trainee. Mandeville Structure Group.
Branch 77 and
Branch 7 trainee. Command.
This is a home destroyed in Mandeville Canyon.
Juliet, communications on command.
Division Juliet from Will Rogers Logistics.
Go ahead for Division Juliet.
Juliet from Will Rogers Logistics. Just FYI, dropped off dinners at City Fire Station 69.
Juliet copies.
Juliet, advise when you're clear to copy a location for a tree fire behind a residence. Division, Juliet, Palisades Communications. Command.
Division Juliet.
Reported tree fire behind a residence at 953 Chattanooga. 953 Chattanooga. Called in by a reporting party through LA County.
Juliet copies.
Branch 10, Branch 7 trainee.
All right, guys, I'm getting ready for this meeting to start. I'm going to keep the scanner going until it begins because it sounds like there's a lot going on. But you can see here there's people asking questions already.
LA Palisades Air Attack V1.
Palisades, air check, go ahead.
Tanker 95 is released, empty, back to Porterville, ETA 1630. Tanker 122 released, empty, back to Ramona, ETA 1630.
Palisades, air attack, LA copies 1630 ETE for both tankers.
Branch 10, operations on Command V1. Yeah, go ahead. Are you coming out through Entrada, through the parking lot right there?
The negative, if you stayed on Entrada, you would have tied in with me. I'm in a four-way intersection right here.
Yeah, copy. We got pulled away to a secondary mission. We're going to have to go out through Topanga. We were going to wait in the parking lot if you were coming down.
All right, hold on a second. I'll meet you just around the corner.
All right, we're down in the parking lot. We'll wait right here for you.
All right, they just went live, but they haven't opened up the cameras yet. It says, the Eaton Fire virtual community meeting will begin at 4 p.m. Please submit questions in the chat, and we will do our best to address as many as we can at the conclusion. Hopefully it'll be more than one.
Palisades Communications, LAV1.
Hey, Steph, welcome in.
Traffic for Palisades Communications. Repeat your identifier.
Palisades Communications, LA on V1. Just checking if you've had any additional open mics on the direct.
Brendan, I haven't heard anything about any names. They just started their grid searches today, though.
LA
Field comm negative.
We're up here.
Field comm helicopter.
Oh, the mayor's in the hot seat today. Her and the chief did a live press conference together. That was crazy. Let's take a look at our cameras.
Branch 10, Branch 7 trainee, command.
Look at all that red.
Division
See all
Charlie.
that red?
Commander of Structure Group.
Hey, white boy, what's up? YouTube shut me down, white boy.
Go ahead, Wayne.
I can't go live for a week on J's for Justice, white boy.
Are you still up on West Ridge? I can come face to face with you.
Yeah, I'm down here on Bayless, but I'll head back up there. I'll meet you at the intersection of Bayless and...
Palisades Air Attack LA V1.
That's the fire
LA
retardant
attack,
stuff.
Palisades Air Attack, if able, reroute Tanker 95 to Ramona.
Hold on, let me pause this. Because they said that I was using third-party content, and I got the warning, and I was away taking a break.
Good afternoon. My name is
Oh,
Stephanie
we're live.
Bishop. I'm one of the public information officers here on the Eaton
Community
Fire.
guidelines.
Our current acreage is 14,117. We're at 15% containment, and we have over 2,800 personnel working this fire. We're going to do a brief update on the fire, such as operations, fire behavior, weather, and air resource. I'd like to bring out our operations section chief, Don Fergolia.
Yeah, I can't go live. I can't post on my community. Nothing.
Very good. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Don Fraguli again here, Operations Section Chief for California Interagency Incident Management Team 5.
Almighty.
I'm going to give you a quick operational update about where we're at currently on this fire. So we're going to start over here on the east end of the fire at Santa Anita Canyon. And as we come across the front country, call your attention to this black. The black line on the map here means that we have containment. Now, containment is not control. It doesn't mean that the fire's out. It just means that we have some shaky line out there, and firefighters are mopping up, and we're working to secure it, and we're working to make it good. So when you see red on the map, those are areas that we don't have containment yet of this fire, meaning that there's considerable amount of work still to be done in these areas along the front country. Also want to call your attention here to these sections. Each one of these sections is a 1 square mile area. And so this down here, this map doesn't represent it as well, but this area here is a community, and it's square miles of the community that have been devastated by the fire. So not only are we working on the perimeter control in here, but the damage assessment and all the things that go along with this type of catastrophic fire are occurring down here on the bottom. They're occurring day and night. We're working on them continuously, and but many more days of work down here along the front country in these affected communities. As we come up around the west end of the fire, things are looking good over here. We have boots on the ground engaged all across this flank, and working daily to get that containment. And I think you'll see some black start to get on the map here in the forested areas. Very challenging terrain up here along the forest. It's the Angeles. It's steep. There's places where firefighters just can't go. So more to come on that in the coming days, but we're starting to make good progress along the flanks. So with that, I'll turn it over to Fire Behavior. Dennis Burns.
Good afternoon. I'm not going to reintroduce myself since Don did. Just a couple of points to bring up today is we got an infrared last night. The aircraft was up, so that's a good thing. What the infrared showed us overnight was we had some intense heat up in this area, some intense heat in this area, and then down along the front country all through here is what we call scattered heat. So So that includes the area that involves all the structures and all that. So there's a lot of, we're not expecting it to move, but it is a heat source. And then there was a few pockets outside of our actual perimeter that shows isolated heats. Again, we're not expecting those to move. Overall today, conditions have been very favorable for us. The IMET, we'll get into it a little bit more, but we've had basically a northeasterly flow over the top of the fire. The fire where it's sitting right now is pretty much on ridge tops, so it's gonna back, and typically fires burn upslope faster than they back down a slope. So the fire has to fight against backing down the slope, and it's also fighting against the wind. And that's all along this upper edge and even out on the west side a little bit. Down low, a little bit more shelter from the wind, not expecting any growth or movement on the fire in that area. All in all, today, going through till tomorrow's shift, not expecting any significant movement on the fire.
Good afternoon, Incident Meteorologist James White. So I'm here to give you your weather update. The good news is we've experienced very favorable conditions on the fire over the past 24 hours or so. Last night had some of the best RH recoveries that we've seen of every night, and what that means is how high does the humidity get at night. We saw around 40%. That's still pretty dry, but it's a higher recovery than has been experienced at any point on this fire since it started. Now beyond that, what we've also been experiencing is very little wind. So over the past 24 hours, we've had very little wind on the fire for the most part, and that's also been very favorable. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet. We still have several days coming up, and there are some more concerning conditions as we have the next several days here. So today, we've already seen some gustier northeast winds start to build in on those ridge tops. Some of those ridge tops up north, as well as in other parts of the basin, have seen gusts up to 45 miles an hour or so. Those will continue to increase through the night, with gusts maybe 50 to 60 miles an hour on some of those highest peaks. Now, the great news is that those will not mix down to the lower elevations, or are very unlikely to, and we haven't seen any of those strong gusts so far today. Those lower elevations, we don't expect to see them. There could be a very brief period tonight where you get just a few of those stronger gusts, but really anything above 20 miles an hour isn't expected. We will continue to have some of those gusty conditions at the higher elevations. We will continue to have those dry conditions at least for the next few days. Our biggest concern day, like I mentioned yesterday, is still Tuesday. That's the day we're really looking at where we'll get that combination of dry conditions and with those northeast winds continuing. On Tuesday, there's potential for those winds to be a little bit more out of the east, be a little bit better aligned, and that could allow some gusts to mix down to lower elevations. So we could see some maybe 20, 25 mile an hour gusts at the lower elevations that could test some areas of the fire. The good news is that those kind of wind speeds is nowhere near what we saw January 7th, January 8th. So although it's certainly something that we're watching closely, it's nowhere near the level of concern or critical fire weather as what we saw that started this event. Finally, like I mentioned yesterday, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There continues to be that light, and it only shows brighter as we get more weather information in. There's increasing confidence that we're going to have more moist conditions by the end of the week. There even is a very slight potential for rain. Don't get your hopes too high up in rain, but the potential's there, and either way, we are going to be much more moist. So that's the great news. Hang in there. Have a great day.
Hopefully they get rain. That'd be great.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Air Resource Advisor Jen Croft.
Good afternoon. I'm with the Wildland Fire Air Response Program, and that's my job is to merge the fire behavior environment with the weather environment. When we do that, we have the capability then to tell where the pollutants that are produced from this fire are going to land and have the greatest impact. Currently, the greatest impact is along the Pasadena foothills from Altadena up at the Devil's Gate Reservoir and all the way over to Monrovia. Folks who have existing cardiac issues and or respiratory issues can expect to have significant impacts because the current air quality level from PM 2.5 coming out of this wildfire is going to be instigating their responses, their inflammatory response. For perfectly healthy folks, when the categories go into that red zone for unhealthy, purple for very unhealthy,
Dawned over
and
Austin.
dark maroon for hazardous, even perfectly healthy people can have issues then. Right now, we're only expecting the conditions to range between the unhealthy for sensitive groups and the very unhealthy groups along the foothills. As you depart from the Pasadena area towards LA, you're going to continue to see moderate conditions. Doesn't mean that you're not going to feel that smoke. We're on day 4. Your eyes should be burning by now. Your lungs are probably a little coughing. All those toxins and plastics that are in some of these structures that have been burning are also in the air. Please remember, if you go to airnow.gov, you can get the latest conditions at your location and have a little bit more informed condition to see where you can go to get a little bit of relief. There's also lots of links on there, and tomorrow we'll be producing an outlook that gives you a forecast. In the short term, the 24 to 36 hours, we're going to continue to see this moderate to USG conditions. And then as we see this next passage of winds, that will bring that column right back down to the surface, unfortunately, for a few hours. And then we hope by Thursday, we're going to see a little bit more relief in the dispersion from these wildfires. Stay tuned, and thank you much.
Thank you, Jen, for that information. And the smoke outlet that she was talking about, we will be posting it as it's produced so that you guys can see it in the public. Next, we're to talk about evacuations and public safety with Los Angeles County Sheriff Captain Williams.
Hello, I'm Jabari Williams, captain of Altadena Sheriff Station. So I just want to give a few updates for the Altadena area. As of right now, as of today, still Altadena is considered a evacuation zone. The public is still not allowed in that evacuation area. We do have checkpoints, and people will be turned away if they try to enter the area. They are still worried about different things, potential fires flaring back up, debris in the road, and there's still wires down that can become energized at any time. We just want to keep the public safe, so that's why we're keeping everybody out. As of right now, we have over 550 deputies in the area for deployment. They do have active missions. Once they complete a mission, they're assigned another. So we are actively working in the area to keep the public and the property safe. There are 30 national. They complete a mission, they're assigned another. So we are actively working in the area to keep the public and the property safe.
How did
there
that
are 30
just happen?
National Guards on hand that's
How did that just
assisting
happen?
with checkpoints and protection of assets in the area. I wanted to talk about the shelters. There is a shelter. The closest one available is the Pasadena Civic Center. It is at 300 East Green Street. There is a family assistance center there. We do have deputies on hand. If you have family members you want to report missing, you can certainly do it in that area. There's also questions about whether or not people are able to retrieve medication.
Hey, what's up, UA?
At this Civic Center at 300 East Green Street in Pasadena, there is a pharmacy on hand that can refill prescriptions. So if you need prescriptions refilled, please show up at the Civic Center and they can assist with that. I want to talk about the curfew. It's still in place as of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it's only for the evacuation area within Altadena. It's not within any other jurisdiction. So I just want to clarify that the curfew in place begins 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it's for the evacuation area within Altadena. If you want to find out how to, you want to know learn if your residence is in that evacuation area, you can easily go to protect.genesis.com and they'll let you know if that area is in the evacuation zone. That's protect, PROTECT .genesis, GENASYS.com. The recovery efforts have begun. They started the grid searches this morning, and they will continue tomorrow. It will take some time, weeks. We have a lot of people, a lot of different agencies helping us, including the coroner's office, search and rescue for the sheriff's department, FEMA, OES, and a lot of different other agencies that are helping with the recovery and efforts in the area. So they are doing grid searches, going house to house to search for damages and potential remains. As of right now, we are up to 8 confirmed deaths for the Eaton fire. And those efforts for the searching will continue. We are at 19 arrests as of right now. Most of them are for people looting and committing burglaries. We made 4 arrests just for curfew alone. So please adhere to the curfew orders in place. We will begin the repopulation plan. It will take some time to get it started. We will say this, before we begin the repopulation plan, we will have guidelines in place for people to follow. They can easily go to any of our social media sites for LASD HQ, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Keep posted, and we will have the guidelines for the repopulation.
All right, thank you, Captain Williams. Next from the LA County Public Health is Chief Deputy Director, Dr. Anish Mahajan.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start by thanking our first responders for their heroic efforts and extending our thoughts and prayers to all those who've experienced profound losses from the fires. We in public health stand committed to supporting those in need in the months ahead. I would also like to thank our county supervisors, especially Chairwoman Supervisor Barger, for their extraordinary and thoughtful support of public health and all of our county and city partner departments. Without their leadership, we wouldn't be able to respond. A local health emergency for LA County was declared yesterday by Secretary Becerra at the federal level and by the county health officer, Dr. Muntu Davis, recognizing the substantial risks to public health due to the impacts of the critical fire events. There's a number of potential risks to health with the wildfire. I'm going to start with air quality.
Thank you, Helen, for your
the South
PayPal.
Coast Air Quality Management issued a smoke advisory through Saturday, January 11th at 5 p.m. There is no doubt that this advisory will be extended. Now, wildfire smoke is a mixture of small particles, gases, and water vapor. Those small particles cause the health problems. They cause that burning in your eyes, the runny nose, the scratchy throat, the headaches, and sometimes cough. But people who are at higher risk of bad health effects, we really need to take care of and make sure that they're okay from the wildfire smoke. And they include children, the elderly, those with respiratory and heart conditions, and people with compromised immune systems. They may have worse symptoms, so we have to look out for them. They may have problems with breathing, wheezing, cough, and even chest pain. Now, everyone in areas where there's visible smoke or where you can smell the smoke, and in other areas where you may not even have that, but you check the air quality index, we have to heed these exposures and try to stay indoors as much as possible, and not do outdoor vigorous physical exercise or activity. If you have to be outside for a prolonged period of time, you must try and wear an N95 or a P100 mask. These are high filtration masks that can remove those small particles in the smoke that can cause irritation and health problems. You want to keep the indoor as clean as possible as well by closing windows and doors. You can run air conditioning if the air conditioning has a setting that allows for recirculating air and not bringing air from the outside. If you have a HEPA air purifier, that also will help the indoor air quality. You want to avoid using your fireplace, candles, or vacuums at this time. And of course, if you're a smoker, we don't want you to smoke, but especially right now, try not to smoke as much. If you're driving, you can reduce smoke in your car by closing the windows and vents. Turn on the air conditioning and set it to recirculate to keep the outdoor smoke out of your car. Now, all of us are at risk for the poor air quality right now, but some of us in LA County need additional help and support. For example, if your job is to work outside, it's important that you wear an N95 or P100 mask. In these situations, you may ask your employer for the N95 mask, and they're required to provide it to you free of charge.
This is so bad.
The LA County Department of Public Health is also offering N95 masks through the interim housing sites, shelters, and street teams to LA residents who are experiencing homelessness and live outdoors, and to those persons who are evacuated from where they usually live and staying in temporary shelters. Family assistance centers will also offer the respiratory masks to residents who are returning to fire zones as the cleanup of the fire damage begins. The County of Los Angeles is also working to distribute over 5,000 HEPA air purifiers to institutions that take care of seniors, nursing homes, and other individuals who are at the highest risk of poor health outcomes. If you're experiencing symptoms that are severe, like coughing, shortness of breath, wheezing, nausea, chest pain, palpitations, or really fatigued, contact your doctor or seek a healthcare provider at an urgent care center. For life-threatening symptoms, make sure to call 911. I want to shift now to talk about water safety. As a result of the fire, there are numerous drinking water advisories that have been issued by local water districts. It's important to follow the guidance in these advisories to avoid potential exposure to the contaminants in the water that could result in illness. The kinds of guidances are boil notices, as well as do not use and do not drink orders. In wildfires, water systems can become depressurized when there's a lot of water being used to put out the fire, and there's a increasing risk of contamination of the water by sewage and bacteria, which results in bacteria levels that are really unhealthy. In these situations, the water district will issue a boil notice. For boil notices, residents in the affected area are advised to use bottled water or boil their tap water for at least 1 minute prior to using it for drinking, brushing your teeth, cooking, and cleaning indoor surfaces like your countertops, your stovetops, tables, and sinks.
Oh my gosh.
The boiling kills the bacteria and other organisms so that they don't get into your system. But there's another kind of problem with water, and that is sometimes in wildfires, there are toxic contaminants that
These
result
people don't
from
even
the
have
burning,
water, dude.
of all these structures and other materials that we've seen that get into the water supply.
They don't
These
have
contaminants can
electricity,
come
I
from
mean.
the structure and materials that were burned in the fire, and in this situation, the water district will issue a do not use, do not drink order. For do not use, do not drink orders, residents should not use the tap water for drinking, cooking, hand washing, and even not for bathing until they've gotten a release from the water district. Continue to follow the emergency guidance provided in the drinking water notices until your water supplier has notified you that it's safe to reuse the water. If you're experiencing symptoms related to drinking contaminated water, of course, go seek medical care from your doctor or an urgent care. The water is also impacting our ocean waters. We at the LA County Public Health have issued a specific ocean water advisory yesterday. Please avoid all water contact at our beaches from Surfrider Beach to Dockweiler State Beach at World Way because the water runoff from the areas impacted by the fire may contain dangerous bacteria, dangerous toxic contamination, and debris that may harm your health and make you sick. We also continue to issue ocean water advisories for other beaches where the bacterial counts are high. We will provide updates on our website at publichealth.lacounty.gov/beach and post notices on the beaches about the evacuation zones. I'm going to now shift to cleaning up after the wildfire. Now, we completely understand, and this is a very difficult time for those who are evacuated from their homes and their neighborhoods. Of course, folks need to get back home, and they want to get back home very badly. But I would like to ask that you do not return home until you're told it's safe to do so. There are a number of potential hazards depending on the level of burn where you live. These hazards include things that relate to power lines and ongoing other kinds of risks, hazards of those nature. There are hazards related to toxic substances, lithium batteries that are not entirely de-energized, other kinds of chemicals that might have resulted from the burning of all the materials that in these structures. And so please heed those warnings and be careful about that. Now, our children are also worried and traumatized. Children may want to join you as you do go back into your neighborhood once you're allowed to do so to assist with the cleanup. But we have to do our best to keep children away from the ash. Try and make sure the ash and debris have been removed before you bring your child back to your home. So once you do get back there, there'll be places where you see a lot of ash and soot. The key is you want to cover up. You want to make sure you avoid skin contact with ash. You could wear household dishwashing gloves. Make sure you're wearing long sleeve shirts and long pants during the cleanup. You should be wearing goggles as well. If the ash does get on your skin, wash it off with some warm water and soap as soon as possible. You should also be wearing a disposable N95 or better type of mask during the cleanup to avoid breathing in the ash and the other airborne particles. N95 masks should fit reasonably well to your face without a lot of gaps around the edges to make sure that it'll work well. The LA County Department of Public Health is also offering N95 masks to LA residents who are returning to fire zone areas as the cleanup of the fire damage begins. Those masks will be made available at multiple sites, including the county evacuation centers and the family relief centers. Finally, the health officer issued an order yesterday prohibiting the use of blowers, things like leaf blowers. We don't want to aerosolize further the ash that exists after the fire. We have a lot more information for you. Happy to answer questions, but you can find more information at our website at ph.lacounty.gov. You'll find a lot more detail about the things I spoke about. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mahajan, for that information. Our next speaker is going to be Assistant Chief Springler with the LA County Fire.
Hey, good afternoon. Pat Springle, Los Angeles County Fire Department, a local fire chief for the communities of Altadena, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and La Crescenta.
I haven't heard any issues
Being
with
part of this
cell.
community, I'm heartbroken over the tragedies that have affected us these last few days. I was on the initial response of the Eaton incident, and what my brothers and sisters from police, law enforcement, and fire experienced was absolutely mind-boggling. Be assured that we, law enforcement, fire department, and all the assisted agencies will be with you every step of the way through the search, recovery, and rebuild of your community. I also will be available for questions and answers through this program.
Thank you, Assistant Chief Springler, for that information. Our next is going to be Incident Commander Kevin Boha and Alex McBath.
Good afternoon. You've heard from our operations section chief when it comes to the overall status of the fire, and you've heard from our IMET when it comes to the weather that we currently are experiencing. So one of the different things that we're doing currently, in addition to the firefight, include preparing for the next weather incoming weather event that we have coming. It's obviously another wind event, but it's not as strong as the one we experienced recently. Also, with the current weather, we've been able to fly a rotary and fixed wing aircraft on the fire, which has been a huge success. You heard a little bit from law enforcement on evacuation and repopulation. One thing that we've been doing is we validate daily when it comes to life hazards or safety issues when it comes to that, so that we can make places safe, so that we can do timely and accurate evacuation and repopulation. Something else we're doing is we're working in conjunction with local, state, and federal resources regarding recovery. So that's something that's going to continue to improve and be a bigger deal in the next few days. Something else we talked about going through and doing search and rescue. We have USAR teams working as stated through the impacted areas of the fire. So specifically, I wanted to talk a little bit about damage inspection. So we do have some questions that have been posed on that, when we're going to release damage inspection numbers and how we go through that process. So we go through, and there actually is a validation process with damage inspection teams where they go through and actually validate how many homes or structures have been impacted, damaged, or destroyed. So there's numbers out there that are estimates. And then we have those hard numbers, and then we release those to the public through a common website that's available to everybody. So I can give the confirmed numbers from yesterday's inspection. Currently, the fire is 10% complete, and 1,702 structures have been inspected. And unfortunately, 886 have been confirmed damaged or destroyed, 132 damaged, and 754 destroyed. This information, when it's validated, we'll still make sure that we get out to the public as timely and accurate as we can, obviously as a good public service. Thank you.
Thank you both for the information. So that's going to conclude our speakers, but we're going to go into our question and answer, and we're going to start with Chief Augustine from the Pasadena Fire Department.
Good afternoon, Chad Augustine with Pasadena Fire. For my Pasadena residents, it's important to remember that many cities in LA County are impacted by the Eaton fire, as it knows no jurisdictional boundaries. Thankfully, Pasadena is a full-service city with its own police, fire, water and power, and public health. This allows us to make decisions based on what is directly best for our residents as we look to repopulate and restore our community. I've received numerous questions and would like to provide some clarifications. Number one, is Pasadena currently under a curfew? No, Pasadena is not under a curfew. Thankfully, almost all of Pasadena was allowed to repopulate yesterday. There are a few small neighborhoods within the city that are still under evacuation orders.
Kiss my grits.
This
Thank
is
you so much
because
for the
it is
pizza,
currently not
Amy.
safe to enter the
Thank
area.
you so much.
You have my commitment that as soon as it is safe to do so, evacuation orders will be lifted. Please visit the City of Pasadena website to view the map of impacted neighborhoods. Question number two, was the chlorine gas at Pasadena Water and Power saved? Is there still a threat to our community? The City of Pasadena receives about 2/3 of the city water from Met. It comes in untreated. We treat it with chlorine gas. The Don Benito Reservoir was in danger from the fire. This is where chlorine tanks are stored. Huge thanks to our partners from LA County Fire for saving the reservoir and protecting the tanks. There is currently no threat to our community. Is Pasadena still without water, gas, and electricity? Your Pasadena city leadership worked hard to ensure as many residents as possible could repopulate their neighborhoods yesterday. We understand that many homes are still without gas or electricity, as well as a recommendation to not drink the tap water. For more information and safety tips for how to safely return home, please visit our website at cityofpasadena.net. Finally, this fire is personal to us. We have firefighters and Pasadena city employees who lost their homes. These employees are still working around the clock to protect our community. We are committed to be with you as we return our community to the beautiful city that we know and love. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to bring Operations Section Chief Don Ferrugula back with some questions.
Okay, so a couple questions we've got so far. Three of them are going to talk about aircraft, and so I'm going to tackle the aircraft questions first. Was there a reason why VLATs weren't employed from the beginning? So VLAT is very large air tanker, right? So it's our Type 1s. It's our biggest aircraft that we fly out there, and they are the most powerful, and they do pack the most punch. However, sometimes even their abilities are curtailed by the weather. And so when you have 100-mile-an-hour winds and smoke laying over targets, it's really hard to implement that aircraft use. So they were flown today. I saw the DC-10 flying on this fire today, on the Eaton fire, and I think if you all looked out your windows right now, you would see that there's considerably less smoke on that hillside, and that's probably from that retardant use today. Okay. Next question, why has the ready-to-fly C-130 aircraft at the Air Force Base not been used for the last 4 days? And so I got this question 5 minutes ago. I had a chance to text out to the National Guard folks out there. Those C-130s are stood up. They have been flying and will continue to use every tool in the toolbox out there, including those C-130s at the Air Force Base. Last one here on the aircraft. Can you explain when VLATs are used and why they aren't flying, dropping on the fire all the time? So that's a fairly complicated question, unfortunately, but there's a couple things going on there. They're dropping on the fire certainly when the conditions are right. They're also dropping on the fire. Pilots have limitations, right? They're limited duty day. They're allowed to only fly a certain amount of hours. We can't see very well at night with the fixed-wing aircraft, and so that's why we're using the rotor wing, those helicopters. It's what we're using at night, and those are flying. And so we're a flying aircraft on this fire 24 hours a day when it's safe to do so and when it's appropriate. Okay, last one. This one's easy. What are the brackets on the map for? So I'm going to talk to the ops map here just real quick. these brackets this represent a branch break. And so a branch break and a division break, those are geographic areas along the perimeter of the fire where resources get assigned. And it's kind of it's a convenience thing for us, because I can say to an engine that checks in, I need you to go to Division Charlie. And so if you go to Division C, you know that you're going somewhere in between these two brackets. So that's what the brackets are on the map for. They break the map up into concise geographic areas that allow us to implement suppression effectively. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next to answer some questions again for the LA County Sheriffs is Captain Williams.
So a question came up about whether or not are we allowing people into the area if they have proper ID to show that they're residents of Altadena. And I just have to say, for the Altadena area, we're not allowing anyone in, even if you do have proper ID. It's a number of reasons. It's just been determined not to be a safe area at this time. We want to make sure the public is kept safe. I understand that different jurisdictions may be allowing that, but for Altadena specific, we are not. It's just been deemed an unsafe area. We would hate for someone to be let in and to accidentally go into a dangerous area and be hurt. There's some questions about whether or not we're giving temporary passes to people, and that's just a no. We're not. At this point, it could change later, but at this point, we are not allowing people in, even if they do have proper identification. If that does change, we will let the public know. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to bring out our fire behavior analyst, Dennis Burns, to respond to some questions.
Good afternoon. The question I have is, will rain create a risk for mudslides in the fire zone? And the answer to that is pretty simple, yes. Part of it is the fire burned extremely hot. What it does is it basically turns that top layer of soil into glass, so that the water runs off. Not all the vegetation has been completely burned off, and so the water is going to carry that down into the drainages. It's going to clog some of those up, and then that is what creates the potential for the mudslides. Having said all of that, with wildfires, we have teams that are called BEAR teams, Burned Area Rehab, and as we are ramping down, they are ramping up. They have hydrologists, soil experts, all that. They come in, assess the area, develop a plan, just like we develop a plan to put the fire out, and then they implement those mitigations. There's a lot of partners involved, but there's pretty much a standard template that all the agencies will use and kind of agree to. And so, they'll do and try as hard as they can to mitigate as much of that threat as possible.
Thank you, Dennis, for that information. Next up, we'll bring back out Air Resource Advisor Jen Croft.
Alrighty. First question was, how long can we expect the air to be toxic here in LA due to these wildfires? We look at smoke from a wildfire event as an exceptional one, especially when it's burning houses and other materials that are not simply organic in that regard. The pollutant that we're most concerned with is that PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5, which is 70 times smaller than the diameter of your hair. So that's a really fine particle. It goes way down into your lungs, scratches things up, and makes things uncomfortable for you. The toxins have a tendency to attach themselves to both the gases, the liquids, and then those particles that are in wildfire smoke. When that happens, we see that last for up to weeks and sometimes months. It also travels hundreds of miles away. Our folks on the East Coast can appreciate a few events that we have sent their way as well. So that's a great opportunity for you to tie in, smoke ready your house and prepare for, because this is not the only fire that will impact this area. And that leads into the extra question here, which is there a website we can visit for information on air quality? There are 3 main sites you're going to want to visit for air quality. The first one is the Smoke Ready Toolbox. If you Google that, it should bring you to an EPA.gov website and slow your navigation down. The other site you'd want to go to is the airnow.gov site. And if you Google fire smoke map, that one will pop up for you. And that gives you the fire perimeters that are in the area and then all of the different various monitors we have. We have low-cost sensors called Purple Air and Clarity. And then we also have some high technical resources that our air quality control boards use and the South Coast Air Quality Management uses to regulate the air quality and issue your advisories. So those are the top two I would go to. And then tomorrow when the smoke outlook comes out on the NC website, I will include those links in my forecast and outlook so you'll be able to navigate to them much easier. And if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. My email will be on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Next, I'd like to bring out with Pasadena Water and Power, David Reyes.
Thank you, Stephanie. David Reyes, Assistant City Manager, Interim General Manager for the Water and Power Department. Just to expand on what Chief Augustine stated earlier, we are a full-service city, smaller service area, obviously, than Edison. As of 4 p.m., we had 169 outages out of 65,000 accounts, and we're working hard to restore all of those. With respect to water, there is a no-drink tap water in effect for certain portions of the city, and those are located on the City of Pasadena's website as well as PWP website.
He looks like Chris Watts with a beard.
We continued to distribute water to our community in partnership with LA County today at 470 North Lake. We will do that again tomorrow from 10 to 3 p.m. We have served over 3,000 cars that have come through in the last 2 days. We are very happy about that. But we recognize that without water that you're able to drink, it presents many challenges. We will be testing all of the city's water, especially in those areas that are affected, beginning next week, and we will share the results with the public. The chief stated that we are a full-service city. We also have our own lab on site, so we do not need to send off our samples to another lab to be confirmed. And we look forward to sharing our results with the community and look forward to having all of the city's water
can't wait for that.
running and potable as soon as we possibly can. Further updates will be provided early next week, and we hope that the community is doing the best that it can. PWP and the rest of the city staff are working very hard to ensure that that you are all in the best shape possible. And thank you very much.
Thank you for subscribing, Terry. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you for that, David. So I'm going to address a few other questions that have come in. We do have a list that we are compiling when you email in. Some of the questions that came in is, why are out-of-state crews being turned away? I'm going to say that they are not being turned away. We have crews here from Montana, Arizona, Nevada that are helping, and we're getting more crews in daily as it comes in. So we're not turning any assistance away at all. One of the other, I know we keep getting a lot of questions in regards to FEMA, and I want you to know we are working on trying to get some answers to those, so we are not ignoring them. We're getting the answers as soon as we can, and we will advise as soon as we can. And then another great question that came up is the best platforms to use to get accurate information. For official fire information, I would like to address you to the Angeles National Forest social media pages, as well as Los Angeles County Fire social media pages. That is where we are producing all of the official fire information. Watch Duty and stuff will pull the information we put out, and that is how they're supplying the information and utilizing that. So please do go to the Angeles National Forest and Los Angeles County Fire social media for that. That's going to complete our evening meeting, and I thank you for joining us.
They sure are quick to end those meetings, aren't they? God almighty. So that concludes our town hall for the Eaton fire. It sounds like they're hopeful. I'm hoping that that just means they're hopeful, you know? I did put a link to a new stream. We're going to start a new stream. We're going to get the flight radar bigger and put the scanner up and then go through the night doing some updates. Okay? I just think that all these chemicals are going to be bad news. You know, like someone was said, taking your pets outside. What the heck? All right, join me at the other stream, guys. I'll see you then. We'll walk through and get through this together. All right, I'll see you there in just a few minutes. Thank you, Miss Harmony. Thank you for all your emails, too, by the way. Share this out. Share, so we get picked up in the algorithm. Hit that like button, please. Every day, Ange.